Hello and welcome to the Metropolitan State University podcast, brought to you by the Marketing and Communications Department. My name is Jake Nadeau, and I'll be your host for this episode. Today, we will be talking to William Baldus, the director of the Career Center, about the diversity networking and job fair event, and the opportunities employers present to Metro State students. Thanks for listening. Hello and welcome, William. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Jake. Thanks for having me back.
Alrighty. So you're the director of the Career Center. How long have you worked there?
Over 12 years now.
12 years.
Yep, it's gone fast.
All right. So we have an event coming up, the Diversity Networking and Job Fair. Why don't you tell us a little about that?
Sure. This is our big event of the year. It happens every fall. And we invite a whole range of employers to come and meet Metro State students and alumni. We typically have about 40 employers and quite a nice range too. Everybody from 3M to Anderson, SPS Commerce, Target's coming. We've got General Mills, City of Minneapolis, Travelers, a few federal agencies. Should be a great event for everybody.
And I want to ask, a word that stuck out to me was, why add diversity networking to the title?
Yeah, we put that in early on in the event's history because employers are really looking to diversify their workforces. And as you know, diversity is one of Metro State's strengths. So we do that primarily for employers to attract them. But I want to, reiterate that all students fit into this diverse mix. We're all part of the diverse community at Metro State, so everyone's invited and encouraged to attend.
And you said there's around 40 employers registered?
Yes.
So when you walk into the event, what does it look like? Is it all scattered around, or is it pretty organized?
Yeah. It's organized chaos, Jake. So you walk into the Student Center. We've taken over the first floor. And the first stop you should make is the Career Center's table. And Marisa Kelly and her team will get people checked in and oriented to where the employers are. Hard to miss them because they will be all over. Room 101 will have employers at tables around the perimeter of that room. And then over in the cafe area where the booze and tables are where people eat lunch, we'll have employers there too. And then we also use the Fireplace Lounge for things like LinkedIn photos. So that's another thing I should mention is that people can get a free LinkedIn portrait as long as they're dressed up. Since you're already dressed up and looking good, we figure that's a good time for people to get a LinkedIn portrait. So we hired someone to do that. And that's kind of nice too.
That would be nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So when is it the best time for a college student to start going to events like this?
I would say right away. Don't delay. This is not something that you can easily put off till your senior year or till, right before graduation. There's a lot of work to be done in making a career transition. And I think I mentioned this last time. I think half the reason for being in college is that you're on this vibrant campus where there's a lot of activity, a lot of new people to meet, a lot of things to try. And I think the name of the game for career development is trying new things and meeting new people. This is not an online exercise like ordering a book through Amazon, right? So the worst case scenario is that people work hard at getting their degree, graduate, and then they're on their own, surfing around on the web, looking for openings, sending in applications. That would be a sad way to look for work. It's commonly known that 80% of people find their next thing through another person, through word of mouth or networking. So this job fair is a good example of one of many events a person could take advantage of on campus to get the networking rolling and try to meet new people.
Yeah, so that personal connection really adds to it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And so meeting new people is hard for a lot of us. What's your tips and tricks on how to greet employers?
Well, the job fair will have, the employers will send representatives. Some of them know their role well and how to represent their company. Others will unfortunately say, just apply online. We're working on that. We know students don't want to hear that as a response, but I think don't underestimate a friendly greeting and handshake, right? So this is not necessarily a time to give a full 1-minute elevator pitch, but you do want to have a couple things in mind that you'll say about yourself. And I think just as importantly is to express interest in what the employer is doing and that you know a little bit about them. So what I would encourage people to do is, have a kind of an idea of how they'll introduce themselves. Hi, my name's Jake. I'm a tech comm major here at Metro State, and I've got about 2 years to go, but I'm really interested in your work at CBRE. And I did a little research and found that, such and such. So that way you're not coming up to the employer kind of flat saying, what do you do at CBRE, which doesn't make a good impression, right? So I would have a couple notes about, how you're going to greet the employer, and I would keep it real simple. It doesn't have to be anything lengthy or real slick, and express interest in their work and what they do, and also thank them for coming to Metro State. They've taken pretty much their whole day to travel over here, set up their booth and everything. So that's kind of a nice thing to do also.
And so you already stated my major, tech comm. And so say if I'm walking into the event and I see all 40 some employers, should I hit every single one, or should I focus on a few that sincerely interest me?
If you've got time, I would try and hit them all. But what helps is to do a little research before the event. When you're in Handshake registering for the event, you can take a look at all the employers who are coming. And I would draw up a little list, maybe 10 or 15 of the top ones that you want to talk to, and kind of build an agenda for yourself. So if Anderson Windows is at the top of your list, what you could do is get warmed up by starting with number 15 or number 10 and working through your list in reverse. So by the time you get to Anderson, you're warmed up and ready to go. Yeah, don't let the event overwhelm you. It's going to be big, a lot of people milling about, but it also has a certain festive element to it. There's free food. The Career Center table and all the staff there volunteering will welcome you and encourage you. And the employers themselves are really excited to be here. We shot a video last year that I can send you of employers taking turns saying that they love Metro State students, and that's kind of fun. And then watching that will give you kind of a sense of the mood of the place. And a lot of folks don't realize this, but there are employers out there who are dying to meet Metro State students and alumni. They too are frustrated with the online search. It doesn't really work for employers either. And this is an event for everybody to come together and meet each other, and it's really a lot of fun. So I would encourage everybody to come, even if they're in doubt. Give it a try. You have nothing to lose, and there's no fee. And typically only good things can happen from something like this. You're coming, aren't you, Jake?
I should be.
Good. I'll look for you there. I should also mention that, we obviously want students to be there, but alumni are welcome. Alumni can come to any of our events. So know that also. And if anybody has trouble with registering in our online system, Handshake, they can certainly call our front desk, and that number is 651-793-1528.
All right, and it's never too late to start.
That's right. You're probably wondering what else students should do to get ready, right?
Yes.
A lot of times people are concerned about what to wear. And I think, you want to treat this like an interview almost, so whatever you typically wear for an interview, but you don't have to go overboard. I think a nice shirt and pants for men, women, they don't have to wear skirts or dresses or anything, but nice pants and shirt there too. People should not wear hoodies or jeans, ideally, baseball caps. That the first impressions are important. So you want to be looking your best. I would also come to one of the resume drop-in sessions between now and then if a person can. They happen every Wednesday, 11:30 to 1 in the Student Center Fireplace Lounge, and we can help you get your resume spiffed up. And then I think, again, it's important to kind of steer the conversation. You don't want to put the burden on the employer to describe what they do. Ideally, you would know that by doing a little web research and have at least a sense of what they do. And then in your introduction, you can mention your name, what you study, and broadly, what kind of work you'd be interested in doing or what kind of organization you'd like to work at. That would be plenty for an introduction. And then I think if you're really enthused about a certain employer, individual, you could ask for a business card and how they'd like you to follow up with them. That can be a good thing to do too. So yeah, if anybody has any doubts or wants to talk further, they can feel free to contact our office too.
And so the resume is important. Should someone coming in have several copies of that in hand?
Yeah, make some copies. If you think you can get to all employers, that'd be, over 40 copies. But I think even if your resume doesn't feel completely finished, bring it and come anyway. If you don't have a resume, I wouldn't worry about that either. You can come. It's not a requirement to have a resume at the job fair, but it's nice to be equipped.
Prepared is something necessary for an event like this.
Yeah, you'll feel better about going into it if you've done some preparation. And I think, just as important as the resume is having a sense of what the employers do. And that is easily done, with a quick web search, so that you can at least get a feel for their mission, the work they do, and that makes a positive impression on the employer also.
Can you find a list of the employers online somewhere?
Yes, you can. When you go to register in Handshake, our online tool, you will see the employers who are registered, and that list continues to grow, and I think we'll probably be at 40-some employers. Go to Handshake to register, and just do a search in your Metro State email for Handshake, and you'll see your login information there. And the Government and Nonprofit Fair in October is another great event. It's on the East Bank of the U in Kaufman Union, and there are a couple events every year that we put on with our colleagues from other colleges and universities around the state. And the Government and Nonprofit Fair is one of those. Even though it's a bit of a trek, to the East Bank, I would encourage people to go. They can hop on the light rail, jump out at Kaufman Union, and it's really a fun event. There we've got not only a lot of interesting nonprofit organizations, but city, county, state, federal government agencies there to meet students. So that would be a nice follow-up to the Diversity Networking and Job Fair.
All righty, lots of things coming up.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, thanks for coming in and talking with us.
Thank you for having me, Jake. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And I'll look for you at the job fair.
Sounds good.
Take care.
I'd like to thank William for being a part of this episode. If you have any more questions, head on over to metrostate.edu. Thanks again for listening.